Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a new update, and today we're going to focus solely on Bitcoin as there's lots of FUD going around with the options expiry, which just passed away, and literally nothing has happened as the actual effect took place already. But before we continue, do not forget to subscribe beneath and also like this video and comment if you want to see a specific topic being discussed, as we are still building the entire channel. And next to that, we're going to build a YouTube studio tomorrow, so lots of new integrations coming up. Next to that, if you want to buy or sell Bitcoin and you are based in Europe, I've partnered with Bitvavo, which you can see on the screen here. One of the fastest, most user-friendly exchanges out there. Has more than 50 digital assets, and they are going to add way more of those in the near future as they are trying to integrate all those new cryptocurrencies that are doing well. And next to that, well, it's also based in Amsterdam, so that's great. But this is the exchange that I'm using mostly next to Binance. You can also stake your coins on here. You can get even 6% on USDT and USDC, 10% on Icon, etc. So that's the promotional talk for today. And now we can start discussing the options expiry on Bitcoin. And I've got some remarks regarding that topic because that topic became a popular one based on Deribit sharing the amount of options that were going to expire today. So how does this work? The actual options expiration moment in itself doesn't do much, as in the hours before the actual expiration of the options or in the days before, you will see that the contracts are being rolled over. What does that mean? Rolling over means that the actual trading stops on the current contract, which is March 2021, and it starts trading on June 2021 in the case of the quarterly futures or options. With the monthly ones, it also rolls over towards the next month. So the actual effect of the options expiry takes place a day before, or at least before the actual event takes place. Just the reverse of buy the rumor, sell the news, right? In which, for instance, Cardano, with the listing or with the new upgrade that became big in March, you see the run up prior to the event, and then just a day before the actual event takes place, the price stabilizes or drops down. With this, people had some fear, were frightened or even cautious on the price movements, as they were like, oh yeah, 6 billion in volume is going to be expiring on the moment in itself. So the price drops before the actual event takes place, and right now we can already see that the price is stabilizing as there's nothing happening, as the trading just moves on. So do not focus too much on these specific events, as once again data and price analysis gives you enough to work with rather than focusing on all those news related events, as that's just mostly noise and you don't have anything to do with it in general. So what can we see in this entire price construction of Bitcoin right now? We can see that we have bottomed out most likely, or at least we've hit a very crucial support zone, which is that zone between 49.5 to 51k. Doesn't mean that right now you should be entering into Bitcoin. Obviously not, because of the simple fact that that's just pure on the day trading perspective. Because of the simple matter that right now your entry is a little bit gone. So what we currently have is that the options expiry have been taking place. People are feeling relaxed again as nothing happened, and now they are getting back into the markets. So while you were actually feared and cautious about the price movements, you were granted a beautiful entry between 49.5 to 51k, while now, after the event took place, the price ran up already with 10%, and you are going to ask yourself like, I want to get back into the Bitcoin markets, and you are going to buy inside the resistance zone here. So you have to reverse that entire mindset if you want to become a consistent trader or at least understand how those mechanics work in the markets. So what the price action is currently doing, and we can just discuss it a little bit based on the previous levels once again. We have discussed this, critical resistance zone, couldn't break through it, double top, dropped south, immediate rejection of the previous support becoming resistance, downfall towards 53k, which has been tested several times since we have discussed this topic. Immediate rejection at resistance once again, bringing the price down. Because of that, it failed to hold on to 53k, and now we drop towards the critical support zone between 49 to 51.5. So that's basically what happened. What's likely to come up next? Well, there are a few scenarios and a few levels that you should be aware of. One of those is basically the previous support zone between 53.5 to 54.2. So that's that red line. It has to crack up there, but you can see that in this example, price also broke through this support zone but couldn't break through this resistance area here. So basically, we can still continue running until we get into anything of this region here. So we could run to 55k like we do like this, and then have a reversal and another test of the low before we start to make a bottoming construction. As in, I'm not assuming that right now we are finished with this correction, with this healthy correction. So what you want to avoid is that you're going to buy back into the resistance zone as that drains down your potential rewards, and it makes your risk-reward ratio worse. So I'm assuming that we get something like this scenario in which we continue this upwards run, or maybe get there already with this 54k area. Basically, if you want to take a short, you're going to have this as an option. You're going to look for, where are you? There you go. So you're going to look for a short opportunity, anything in this region. Your stop is basically here, and your TP is this. I'm granting you a pretty decent risk-reward ratio of 2.5, which is the same concept as when you're taking longs in a long trade, right? So this is basically the trade if you want to short, if you look for it. I'm not a short dude. I'm not shorting in any type of these markets. I'm just buying the dip, as the easiest option inside a bull market is to buy the dip. But in this case, I'm assuming that the scenario that you just saw is what I'm going to look at in the entire construction, as in we get a double bottom configure in Bitcoin in itself, and based on that perspective we can start grinding up again. Next to that, we also have the daily view, and the daily view is just basically doing what I wanted it to be doing, making this a bottoming construction as we got into the critical support zone to hold on to, and now we can start moving sideways for the coming period, which as a matter of fact looks very identical to the period that we have after the halving period, in which we also tested this order block in this range, went sideways through the entire summer, and after that we started to accelerate heavy again. But such a sideways range, just most likely that we're going to get it here, would grant massive strength for altcoins. You should realize that altcoins perform the best once Bitcoin is going to stabilize. And what we can see is that based on this entire construction, if we have a little bit more of sideways action here, we most likely get a grind up towards 58k, as that's the critical resistance zone. So most likely we get something like this before we start to accelerate once again, granting strength on the altcoins, right? Next argument is being made is that there is a bearish divergence. Well, I've discussed this. As long as we are making higher lows, it's not a valid bearish divergence. And in this case, if you're a bull, you're going to seek for arguments that fit your bias. And then you can see that there is a hidden bullish divergence as well, which gives you no conclusion about where the price is going to head. That's why I'm focused on price action in itself. But right now we are just hitting support zone. Nothing happened on the options expiry day, and most likely we're just going to act sideways, and then we can start focusing on 68k and possibly even 83k. That's my update for today. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned, lots of great stuff happening. Like the video, and I'll see you again tomorrow.